better. Ah, that's what it was. Hang on. I'm trying to get a little bit more light. Much better, much better. Nothing better than sunlight. Nothing better than sunlight. All right, good morning, everyone. Oh, actually, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. 13:45. Goodness me, I don't know where the time goes, really. I have such good intentions in the morning, sort myself out, and then, I'm never on time. And that's because when I'm doing this sort of stuff, it's not usually a pressing thing. I don't have to do it between a certain time or whatever it is. It's literally a whole day of doing all of my admin. And so that's why it comes to 13:45 in the afternoon, and I'm still thinking it's the morning because I'm just taking my time to wend my way through things. Anyway, I've not had the best week last week, I have to say. I've not been myself, and I've been a bit ill, and all sorts of things are happening. I'm thinking to myself, sometimes people don't actually tell you what to expect at certain times of your life. When you're younger, when you're a younger person, or with regards to childbirth, regards to bringing children up, or going through life, going through the different courses of life, getting to sort of middle age, menopausal issues, and so on. People don't actually tell you what their experiences are. They don't tell you that this might happen to you, or you might experience that or the other thing. There's nothing. There's no one-to-one type of dialogue that you have. And if you have friends your own age, they're probably going through the same things as well. So obviously they can't give you the benefit of their experience. And in our communities, these are not easy things to talk about because everything is so closed down. We're all sort of tight-lipped about things, and we shouldn't be. We should be able to explain all our experiences. We should be able to talk to people and tell them, perhaps you might go through this, you might not, but this is what I went through, and that's just what life is, and it's a course of, of life, really. Being alive means that certain things will happen to you at different stages if you're alive. Because that's the other thing. I mean, every single day I open up social media, I hear of somebody who's passed. I mean, I spend all my time on social media sending condolences to people who've had family members or friends who've just died. I mean, like they literally have just dropped down and died, and nobody's known why they have died. So it's not old age or anything like that. There's a friend of mine who's had two young men who've died this week. Sorry, I've got my whole tray of breakfast goodies ready because I'm now having breakfast. I've not had anything to eat all day. It's 10 to 2 now. And this is my coffee. I'll drink a little bit because I'm coughing. And it's quite cold because I made it about an hour ago. And then I do a huge jug of tea, which I don't drink all at once, obviously, because I drink that I couldn't possibly, even if I tried. And then I've got ginger and lime, which I boil and just put together and have a saucepan of that. And then, and then I've got my trusty banana here, which works very well for energy boosting, whatever. And then I've got a little bit of honey, which I bought yesterday. So that's going to go. I'm going to get a bread roll in a minute and have that. So yes, I was talking about people who just dropped down dead without anybody knowing what had gone on with them or why they died. And it's very unfortunate because we don't have the facilities to do postmortems on people when they die. So we don't know what people are dying from. I mean, I guess we have a pretty good idea because our illnesses are all more or less around the same group of illnesses in the country. In Sierra Leone, this is, I'm talking about now, not the United Kingdom, because obviously here in the UK it's different. Um, kettle of fish altogether. So I spend all my time sending out condolences to people, telling them that I'm sorry somebody's passed in their community and RIP. And from time to time, it comes into my mind that I wish people wouldn't rest in peace. I wish they would, if there was a way they could all get up and haunt the authorities or do something to point out that you've got to help people who are alive and provide basic healthcare services for them, because that's where it all stems off from. You know, usually something's happened to someone, it's not being looked at, and then it continues to fester in the person, and eventually it overcomes them. So that's where it all starts. People not being vaccinated, infections not being treated, sanitation being poor. So, I mean, I don't want to labour the point because everybody sort of has an idea of the fact that I talk about these things incessantly. And I don't want to carry on with that. But I do wish that all of these people who we say RIP after every single day, every single day. Today I saw somebody who died the same. She was born the same year I was born, and she died. I was just thinking, oh my God, it's enough to make you not want to get up. But then when I look at my own life, I'm thinking, well, you know, get up and say something and do something and make a difference somehow. Because even if you have only a day to go, a day to live, at least make that day worthwhile, you know. But really, I'm not sure what the priorities are of government and why it is that healthcare is just not taken as seriously as it could be. It's not a priority. It appears not to be a priority, especially when our population, across the continent, African continent, population is a young one anyway. But you want people to be able to extend their lifespan. I don't quite see how we are going to progress as a nation if we cannot extend the lifespan of our population. And it's just not going to happen, you know, anyhow. So there we are. That's one of the things. And I myself, as I said before, wasn't feeling my best last week. Um, and apart from, you know, sort of problems, I mean, they're not problems that are insurmountable. I have to say that because I don't want to sound as though, you know, I'm not a hypochondriac in any way, shape, or form. But I'm a person, if something's going on, I'd like to just like stamp it, make sure I'm on top of it, and then, you know, do what it is that I need to do. And that's what I'm doing. But it's on a personal level, I've got a friend who, you know, a very elderly person who I was surprised at had told me a number of things that weren't true. I'm thinking myself, I just wasn't expecting it, you know. And I'm thinking, why would she want to lie, and or why would she want to divert the information in that sort of way? So that's not lying; it's diverting the information. And I thought about times when I've had to divert the information, as it were, particularly when I'm dealing with my son and I don't want to be confronted, or maybe another family member, something like that. And I don't want to be confronted with this or that or whatever it is. And I might say, well, I didn't find the bowl that you asked me to buy in the supermarket, but I got something else. And that sort of thing. So I just put it down to that. But in this particular instance, I was just a little bit disappointed, really and truly, I have to say. And in life, what I find, it's not so much what has happened to you or what experiences you've had to undergo. The main thing is how you deal with it, how you deal with whatever those experiences are. And if you're if you have a little bit of an argument, say with my neighbor, for example, if I had a bit of an argument with my neighbor and I went in all guns blazing and charging in and saying, look, I'm sorry, but you can't do this and so, because I'm that kind of person. I'm quite a passionate sort of person, so don't get into a fight with me because, I'm going to like go on. Go on without stopping ad infinitum. That's what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So, and then I might go on, have a good old fight with XYZ. Later on, this happens a few times. And then later on, I go and sit somewhere quiet and I reflect on what's happened, because I'm a great one for reflecting, and I reflect and I feel a bit sorry. I shouldn't have said that, or I should have sort of put it in this way and that sort of thing. So what I've done, what I'm now doing a bit later on in life, is when something really, really gets to me, and I know the kind of person I am, I'm like, get in there, sort it, and get it done. What I'm now learning to do is to give myself distance, okay, between me, the problem, or the person. Yeah. So give myself distance. Don't go and have that discussion immediately or when the thing is hot on the fire, that sort of thing. So give yourself distance, move away from it, and then do the reflection beforehand, and then go and discuss it with the person that you're wanting to discuss it with. Particularly if you're my type of personality who I've got to get things done, and if I don't do it, this will happen, or you know what I mean, and it festers away at me. But it's about self-control. It's about being self-aware, isn't it? So distance yourself from the issue, from the problem, from the person. Think things through. I do a lot of writing. That's me. I write all day. Think it through, put things down, reflect. What could you do better? Is there a way of overcoming it, and so on and so forth, and then you can go and deal with it. So I think that's what I'm going to do with my friend. I think I'm going to give her some time, and then and then approach the issue and say, well, I didn't like it because this was how I felt about it, and so on and so forth. So that's what's going to happen. But I really am. I'm one of those people who don't get me on the wrong side of things, and that's why I get into a little bit of a this or that one time or another. But I like to make amends, and I like to eventually I listen, learn from situations, and then I move on. It's never a live or die type of situation. Sure, it's usually something that's that I feel quite passionate about. It's never something that I cannot work on or get better at, whatever it is that's going on. the other thing, I just want to myself keep an open mind on things. Obviously, I'm going through a transition phase at the moment, trying to get my move into Australia. And the other day, I heard quite terrible news, really. Somebody went and started a fire at the back of the property that I'm sort of getting done at the minute so that I can make my move. They just started a fire there because they obviously thought that there was something in the house that they could go and steal. And so they were trying to make a way into the dwelling. So the only way that they could do that, didn't want to break down the front door or the side door because that faces the street. They went around the back and tried to put fire at the top of the roof so that they could get in that way. It was just terrible because I'm just thinking, we have no fire services. If somebody had started a fire that couldn't be controlled, the whole place would have been burnt down. It just took me aback because one of the things that worry me essentially about living in Sierra Leone is the fact that as a single person and female, you get into all sorts of difficult situations with people because the whole culture is not one of respectfulness towards women, full stop. That, like, nobody takes women seriously or regards them with respect. I mean, like, literally nobody. I'm telling you, not even people in authority or in power. They pay lip service to it, but actual looking at females and thinking we're all equal. If God created me, God also created this person, and that we're all equal. We're all equal. We're all created equally. It's just that we're different in other ways, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean being different doesn't mean a person is not equal to another person, or one gender isn't equal to another gender. So things like that do come into my mind, um, and it's something that you have to think about seriously. I mean, I can live somewhere else and conduct my business and invest, and pursue a career. I can buy property. I can run a business. I can do anything as a human being. I can do anything elsewhere. But when it comes to my own home, my own country, I really have to sit down and think about who who's the best person for me to engage with that's not going to be putting me down or looking at me as though I, they can get one over me just because I'm female, or they can take advantage of me just because I'm female, or they can deprive me of my funds just because I'm female, or they can do a bad job and get away with it just because I'm female. you know, these are very real issues that you seriously have to think about in our context. Um, and that's just the point where I'm at, and I'm just wondering exactly how it is that one can minimize um, this sort of unhelpful dialogue and relationships with other people, because it's definitely not a good thing having to be faced with that level of negativity about you, your gender and your person on a daily, everyday sort of basis. It's just relentless. It's just part of who people are. For example, I was there, and this gentleman across the way was, pointing out to a contractor that I'd hired what the boundaries of my property. I mean, like, if he stood in front of me, I wouldn't even know who he was. He just felt that he had that authority to make a comment or to express an opinion on something that had nothing to do with him. And just because I'm female, if I were male, it just would not have happened. The thought wouldn't have entered his mind. It's just it's just sick. It really is sick. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like a cancer in the society. It's like something that's eating up everything that's positive and that's good in our communities. You know, that's what it feels like. It feels like when people get to a terminal stage in terms of their disease process, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, they literally just would be giving you lots of TLC and anything else that you wanted to make you feel a bit better, but your end is inevitable, it'll happen. That's what it feels like sometimes in Sierra Leone when it comes to how women are treated. It feels like a terminal disease. It literally feels like that, something that cannot be helped. And we have a lot of people jumping up and down. Well, I'm part of the jumping up and down crew, saying this and saying that. But the fact is, I'm a product of my upbringing, and my background and my uh, opportunities in life. I didn't have a rough time, I have to confess. I never slept hungry, I have to confess. I had a father, well, it was your father really in my day, who looked after the entire family, and in a way that enabled me to go to whatever was the best at the time. That's what I got. So, so it's very easy for me to be jumping up and down and saying all of these things, because I'm a product of my background and my education and the fact of living somewhere else for most of my life, that sort of thing. But clearly, or not everybody, or even a fraction of people in my country like me. So it's just how we all perceive things, and it's not just about male members of our community. It's about the society. It's about other women. It's about systems. It's about institutions. It's that's how it all is embedded in everything that we do. Um, and that's why I say it's like a terminal sort of disease and terminal stage of the disease process. It's just hard going how one gets around it, because legislation is one thing, but actually changing the hearts and minds of people and the culture and understanding of who we are in society, um, and how we should contribute to that society and make things better, because that's the whole point of us being alive, I find, is how we make our lives better and the lives of those around us. So it's a never-ending thing. Yeah, but I've said a lot actually. um, yeah, I hope that I'll have a better week this week. I think once I pick up again with my exercise and um, sort of keep up my healthy stuff that I do, I'll feel a bit better. At the moment, I have a lot of pain sort of on my back, so I'm not doing any jumping and dancing today. I'm just going to continue with a bit of admin and see how it is that I can sort myself out. So thank you for listening. If you are, it's a rather long one today. I'm so sorry. Yeah, if do please comment, like the video, please, if you like it, of course. Share and subscribe to my channel. I'm still trying to build it up. I'm talking about some social issues as I go along, some personal stuff, and yeah, may the force be with you.